Welcome back to Local Legends, thanks to the Inside Game. I'm your host, Mark Collins. This week's guest is someone I've shared plenty of time with on the cricket field over the years, so I knew this was going to be a good conversation. Matt Smith has a genuine passion for grassroots sport, particularly cricket, and he's got some wonderful views on where community sport is heading. We talk about the challenges clubs are facing, why participation numbers are changing, and why great coaching is about so much more than tactics. For Matt, it's about relationships, creating an environment where people feel valued and making them want to keep coming back. So, whether you're a cricketer, a coach, a parent, or simply someone who loves local sport, I think you'll find plenty to take away from this conversation. So let's get into it. This is Local Legends with Matt Smith. Welcome back to Local Legends once more. It's a pleasure to have with me today my ex-opening batting partner, Matt Smith from Naracoorte, from the Naracoorte Cricket Club. Thanks for being here, mate.
No, thanks for having me, Coley.
Pleasure. So firstly, we are recording the night before the first test, Australia versus Bangladesh, starting tomorrow morning. You looking forward to that, or is it too early, do you think? What's your call on August cricket?
Never too early for cricket for me, especially Test cricket. Quite happy to watch that year round. Yeah, it'd be good. Be interesting to see how they go up in the top end and how it all works up there with obviously slightly different conditions to where they usually play home tests. So yeah, see how they go.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I just wondered whether for some people it might be a bit too soon, getting to the pointy end of the AFL season. So, but I agree with you, mate. It's never too early for cricket.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, like I said, Test cricket. Happy to watch that year round. And it plays Test cricket goes through the week. Footy's on the weekend. Can make it all work, can't we? Never too much sport.
That's right. There's enough room for both, so it's all good. Now on the international test side, while we've started there, I think we've got this two test series, then over to South Africa.
Yeah.
Then it's back home with New Zealand, and then straight over to India, and then the Ashes after that.
Yeah, it's jam-packed.
Big 18 months coming up. It's going to be cricket everywhere, and it's going to be great, I reckon. How do you think they'll go, though, in the long run? Bit too much?
I think it will be, I think our side's a little bit unsettled at the moment. So going into a big period like that, you sort of want to be pretty settled on your batting lineup and all that. And I think we still got a few holes there.
Yep.
So obviously Bangladesh not being as good a test nation as some of those others, hopefully they can find some form and carry that through. And then, I think our fast bowling stocks are pretty deep. So whether they have an injury or two, they'll be right to carry on there. But it's probably more the batting, especially coming up against, South Africa over there on their spicy decks, and India, and then England over there. So, I think the batting will determine how well we go, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. And is there anyone that you are sort of looking forward to that might sort of pop up that's not in the current side as of now?
I am a Cooper Connolly fan.
Right.
I think it's probably a bit early for him yet, but I think he's going to be a very, very good player. So I think he'll get his chance at some point through the next 12 months. He's in and around that squad as it is. So, I'd like to see him get a taste. And based on in his home conditions, I know he's had a taste already over in Sri Lanka. That's completely different to what he'd be used to. So he's got a pretty good first-class record in the 4-day format. So if he can carry that on, I think he's probably going to be our next big thing for me. So
I hope you're right, and I reckon you're right. Within the next sort of 12 to 18 months, with the calendar the way it is, I'm sure there'll be a spot for him pop up at some point.
Yeah. No, I think the amount of questions around that batting lineup, be a few chop and changes, I think. So see how he goes. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, for everybody else listening, Matt is a long-time cricketer, multiple premiership winning captain. But take me to where it all started for you. What's your first cricketing memory, mate?
My first cricketing memory, probably schoolboys, really, going back to those years. Just playing with a few mates. Obviously, the schoolboys comp's a bit different now to what it used to be, but there used to be half a dozen teams. Loose nail pad the way. Each Naracoorte school had a couple of teams. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, back in those days, everyone bowled their 2 overs. You retired on 20. Yeah, they were probably the good old days back there. So, yeah, a long time ago now when you think about it, but we move forward.
Yeah, yeah, you can't stop. So when you mention schoolboys cricket, I think about obviously my version of that, obviously a bit before yours.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually ended up being obviously living in Naracoorte as well for most of my childhood and adult life. Um, I went all through all of my cricket with the same sort of handful of people. Did you have that happen for yourself?
No, unfortunately for me, my year level, I was probably the only one that really continued to play cricket.
Yep.
So once we got out of the schoolboys, went to 14s and 16s. Quite often, I was playing upper grade with my brother Jake because
Yep.
he's 3 years older than me. So as soon as he started playing 14s, I was filling in for him. As soon as he started playing 16s, I was filling in for him. Not long after he played seniors, I was filling in for them too. So I was always playing, yeah, upper grade. Obviously, being a keen cricketer and being around the traps, if they ever needed to fill in, I was always easy. And then usually you'd fill in for one season, the next season you're permanently there, even though you're 11 playing in 14s. So
Yeah. Yep.
um,
Seems to go that way, doesn't it?
yeah, and so but just not that. Yeah, not many from my age continued to play cricket. I was sort of the only one in that year level. There's a few in the year above me that played uh, consistently, and they're probably the ones that I'd say I've consistently played with throughout
Yeah.
my cricketing career. So
Yep.
yeah,
So speaking of your brother, now I'm going to say straight away, and he's probably going to hate it if he hears this or watches this, that you're a much better cricketer than he is.
nah,
He- he's a good cricketer. He's a good cricketer, but I think you've got him. Um, did you guys have a bit of spice in the backyard in the Smith household?
yeah. So we used to have down one side of the house on the pavers. Mum used to love this. We get the old soccer net out at the back of the veranda to play wicket keeper, stumps up there, cricket ball on the pavers with the bat. Away you go, bowling as fast as you can down the side of the house. A few windows along that side, but
Which
uh,
side? Which side was the house on? Was it your leg
uh,
side or offside?
where we were, it was the west side of the house. So you used to hit your cover drive through the alfresco. So um, wasn't too bad. And then we also used to play a bit of ping pong cricket inside down the living area there. So that used to get fiery. You bowl that one as quick as you want, and you get the old thing to swing. And used to use a little mini cricket bat, so it was pretty hard to hit those ones sometimes. But I think it all helps in the long run. Even playing little games like that, it's a bit
Yeah.
unconventional, but trying to hit a ping pong ball from 10 meters away when someone's bowling as quick they can
And
with a
it's
bat that's about 300 mil long. It's
and it's moving around and yeah, does wonders for the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, we used to play a fair bit of that back in the day, so that was always good fun.
So obviously you played, you went to cricket with your brother when he was playing, filled in, and then moved into the same team as
Yeah,
soon as you could. Um, was it always because you've played obviously football growing up as well?
yeah,
Um, for Naracoorte, was it always cricket over footy for you? Because a lot of the time I've chatted to people here, it's always the opposite, footy before cricket.
yeah, yeah. I was probably one that went the other way. Too much running in football for me, so yeah, it sort of got to the point when I was starting to travel and playing a few rep sides of cricket, and then you get the Glenelg academies wanting you to train through cricket season, usually on a Wednesday night. And cricket training it is, so I think I went to about 3 Glenelg trainings and gave that up and never looked back. It was always cricket over footy then for me.
Yep, yep. So talk to us about the rep sides. What were the ones that you went into?
So obviously starting from real young, I think I played 2 years at Sapsaza, um, and then went into the southeast side for under 14s.
Yep.
Played that as a bottom major, and we won the carnival. And then played that as a top Asia, won that carnival too. Got selected in the countryside to play all the metro teams. So played that carnival in 14s. And I thought I did all right. It was a good experience. So
Yep.
playing up against some pretty good cricketers there. And then went to 16s, played bottom age 16s, top age 16s. I can't remember if we won one of those carnivals or not. I think we might have won when I was top age. Unfortunately, though, my top age, I only played 1.5 games, so I ended up with stress fracture in my foot, which was a bit
Mm.
unfortunate. I was probably on track to make that countryside again, so a bit of an unfortunate injury, the old stress fracture, but it happens. I had the selectors come and talk to me after. They were wondering why I didn't register any stats in the last 2 days of the carnival. So, they're obviously still front of mind, but
Mm.
I think that 16s, if you're not in it at that 16s, it's very hard to get your nose in it going any further. 17s, 18, 19s, they're pretty well pick and stick
Yeah.
unless you're in the city. So,
Yeah.
it's a bit unfortunate timing.
Yeah. So how did you, as a young, what were you, 16, you said,
Yeah.
and obviously, you know, things are tracking pretty well for you, even being in Naracoorte and in the country where you can't always get seen.
Yeah.
How did that sort of play? Did it play on your mind a lot? Did it sort of one of those things where you sort of thought about a long time afterwards, or did you just sort of go, oh well, that's that?
Nah, not really. There's always good playing rep sides and that, but you sort of always knew, well, I sort of knew at that time I could always be a good cricketer, but to make that top level, um, it was pretty difficult. And never really played on my mind too much. So I still went up and played. In saying that, so I missed the countryside, but I had a fair bit to do with Kensington,
Yep.
so I ended up playing for one of the metro teams in that carnival anyway.
Yep.
So I still managed to play in it. So, um, in saying that, I think I'd come back a week or two early from my stress fracture, so I was pretty underdone. But so I still got to play in it, but it was a bit unfortunate. Don't know if it would have changed my trajectory too much. So, that's all
Yeah.
good.
Well, you can't really sit and wonder too much about the unknowns, can you?
No,
Because what's done's done.
correct.
All right. So when you're this age, when you do it, what are you doing most of? Batting or bowling?
I was genuine all rounder
Mhm.
then. Often first change bowler, sometimes new bowler, and then would bat 4, 5, 6 pretty well. Yeah, in most sides. So genuine all rounder. If anything, if I was getting picked on one, it would have usually been my bowling. But I was majority 90% of the time I was picked as an all rounder, bat in the middle, bowl first change. Yeah,
Okay. So you've obviously, and you've gone from those sort of rep sides and the state sides and carnival sides, continue to play for Naracoorte at a club level as well.
yeah.
At some point, you've come back and played for Naracoorte. When did you first sort of get to Naracoorte? Because there wasn't much junior cricket going on back then, was there?
Nah, it wasn't much junior cricket. So still going over those rep sides and playing a bit for Kensington. I was still playing at home every opportunity I could. So we used to have a team that went to the Mount
Yep.
under 16s. So I played a bit in that. By that time, I think I was playing full time seniors. I think I was playing full time seniors from what, 14 maybe. That was pretty early.
Yep.
Um, the same deal. Jake was playing. Need an extra player. I'll just play.
Yep.
So so from pretty early on. Um, and then continued on from there. And then obviously once you're outside of 16s, Kensington, it's either a full time commitment going up and playing and training 2 or 3 times a week, or still doing school at home,
Yeah.
like in Naracoorte. So it's just not realistic, really. So I just continued playing for Naracoorte, and I was still my name was still around. There was plenty of people in the mountain that knew it. I had people offer me to go down there and play
Right.
and all those sort of things. So it all comes around. But it got to the point where I just want to play cricket with people I knew and enjoy it. And that's the main thing, I think, when it comes to sport. You just got to enjoy what you do. So yeah, stayed in Naracoorte and still there.
Well, for those of us that were playing at the time, we were pretty glad you did because you became an integral part of the senior side. And you were still pretty young the first time you took over the captaincy, correct? What age were you when they actually handed you the captaincy?
Yeah, I reckon I was 17. I was still in school.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I reckon it was 17. The first time I took it over full time. And I think I did it for 2 or 3 years, I reckon, before I handed it over to someone else. But it just ended up keep coming back around to me. I think I'm on my third or fourth stint now. So
Right, right. So
yeah.
the first couple of years, the first stint, what was that like? Were you already sort of an on-field leader, or were you sort of just sort of pushed in that direction because of that?
No, I'd captained a lot of juniors.
Yep.
And I think I captained one of those rep sides as well, and been vice captain for Kensington at that point. So I had a fair bit of experience. With cricket captaincy is obviously leading, but a lot of it's tactical.
Yeah.
What do you do for each batter? What bowlers are best for each batter? Like those sort of tactical changes more than um, more than anything else. So it's more just tactical when it comes to cricket, and so I have my head around all that. And you can pick a batsman's deficiency and a bowler that might be able to exploit it, and you go from there. So
Right. So how did you find starting to have to think about the game while you're in the game? How did you sort of go differentiating between what you had to do and also have the forethought of what's coming next and have that tactical side of the game
uh,
as well?
I don't know. I think I've always done it, whether I'm captaining or not. It's in all sports really. Always, you think about what you got to do, but I always think about what the team's got to do or what we can do better as a team. Whether it's cricket or footy, it was just always been natural for me. So captain cricket teams, captain footy teams, coach footy teams. It's all pretty natural for me. I've never really known much different, to be honest.
And interesting that you say, because I did have this down to ask you anyway, but you've coached footy teams. You were coaching one of the Naracoorte senior sides there. I think was it the full-time B grade coach or one of the assistant coaches in the A grade?
No, I did 4 years full time. I head coach of the 17 and a half at Naracoorte, and then two
Yep.
years assistant coach at the A grade at
Yep.
Naracoorte.
Yep. So I can't remember where I heard it and who said it and how long ago it was, but I'm pretty sure it must have been somebody from the Naracoorte club, but they said that you have one of the best tactical minds for the game of football that they've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
Did,
I
did you
haven't
get
heard
did you
that.
get much of that? You haven't heard any of that? No one's
Nah,
actually come and told you?
I haven't heard much of that, mate. I look at the results we can get on field and don't worry about too much what people talk about me off the field. So, yeah,
What's it like to hear now that you've
yeah,
heard it?
it's always good to hear those sorts of things. But especially when I was coaching the kids, just seeing them grow and getting the best out of them, and it was pretty rewarding. And then obviously when I was doing that grade, it was pretty tough times. There was a big excess of players there, and then
Yep.
walking into that, there was a fair bit of rebuilding to do. So, um, it was sort of two completely different scenarios, coaching wise and yeah, the whole rebuilding was very new to me because
Yep.
every team I've been a leader of, it's always been um, a competitive team up the top looking to win and win the whole thing. So,
Yep.
yeah, it was a different sort of way to see the game and plan around it.
Did you end up coaching some of the juniors when you went to seniors and they came through? Did they come through at the rebuild stage?
Yeah, yep. So coached a lot of them. So I went, yeah, my last year of senior Colts coaching straight into A grade assistant. I reckon the first game there was 10 or 11 of them in that side. So it's pretty rewarding to see
Yeah.
and see him step up and still watching him now. He'll play, they're all getting better and better. And, I have good relationships with a lot of them, and some of them are quite good mates of mine now. So, yeah, seeing them get better each week. And a lot of them still come up and talk a little bit of footy to me and ask what I think of this and what I think of that. And
Yep.
just give them the honest opinion, and they take it. They're old enough now and know their game well enough that they know how to apply it.
So obviously tactics are a strength for you and thinking about the game and how the game should be played. But what about as far as coaching goes? And obviously I assume you might have had this with testosterone fueled young blokes in under 17s. How do you control a whole group of people because they're all different, they all need different things. So mentally and energetically, how do you actually combine that all into one unit?
Yeah, it takes a bit, especially with the younger fellas. You got to sort of know, you got to know them pretty well, like their personalities pretty well, on what you're going to get from each kid. There's kids that are up and about all the time. There's kids that stand at the back, but they're probably the ones actually taking them the most in. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to know what their base personality is and what they're like, and when you can see a change in that, whether it's for the positive or negative. If they look a bit down or off of what they normally be, you either have a quick chat to them or you give them a little bit of slack and let them go. But yeah, coaching those kids, it's more just being about not trying to be an adult to them, just being a leader to them.
Yep.
So they can relate to you a bit more. So yeah, being more mates with them. But then if you've got that authority, they still listen and learn and go from there. And yeah, there's a few of them I coached for 4 years, and yeah, by the end of that fourth year, they could pretty well just see by the expression on my face what needed to happen. So yeah, it's good.
Right. Yeah. So, any major milestones team wise or anything from there, premierships and things like
Yeah,
that from the coaching days?
yeah, we managed to the last year, me juniors, we got a premiership. I think it broke a 17 or 18-year drought at the club. So that was quite rewarding. Those boys, there's probably more for those boys that had probably had a few mental demons that lost.
Right.
Well, that was the third grand final I'd coached in. So they'd lost two of them. And I think some of them lost two in the junior Colts as well. So some of them lost four grand finals before finally getting the victory in one of them. So yeah, it meant a lot to them, and it was good to be a part of.
Yeah. Great. Great. Very satisfying. That's good. Okay. So back to cricket. Obviously, as we've said, you're uh, a young senior and then a young captain. Captaincy was sort of switched around a bit back then, a little, every couple of seasons or so, someone else would take it over just to give the other guy a break. And obviously, as you've mentioned, it went back to you a couple of times since. In that sort of run where in the sort of 2013 through to 2018-ish or thereabouts, 2019, the club had a cricket club there had a pretty solid run. Take us through what your memories are of how it started and how it went all the way through.
Uh, yeah, so I actually started out in that other Naracoorte team, the Demons, and then also we went back to the one team, so we all come townies. Those years, there's a lot of premierships in those years, and they tend to blend all into one.
Yes.
To be honest with you, yeah, I don't know. There was good contests all through there. Probably transitioning to an opening batter for me was
Mhm.
something new. I hadn't really done it before. Getting that opportunity, we had a stacked team, so batting down, it was either opening the batting or I was probably batting 8 or 9, and I didn't want to bat 8 or 9, so
Yeah.
just figured out how to deal with the new ball, and obviously lucky enough to have you down the other end, which made it a lot easier. So
I was doing the same thing, mate. I was either opening or down down the same end.
yeah,
So
we had to make it work for me. So um, yeah, transitioning to that, and those years had some good battles with Kyrie and Lucino in particular. Seemed to
yeah.
be the team that would play in the grand final more often than not.
Mm.
Um, it was just good times. Everyone was at the club, was up and about. It was fun after the games, during the games. Yeah, and I couldn't even tell you which years we won which premierships. To be honest, it just blends into one really.
It
There was a
does.
few T20 in there as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but they were definitely good times.
Yes, they were. I reckon we won four in a row at one point. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was something like that, and then we
Yeah.
missed out on one, and then I reckon we won another one or two.
Y-
Yeah, and there was a few T21s in there somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very successful period for the club, and it's no coincidence that one of our best in yourself was at the forefront of that, um, because you brought an extra set along with the older guys like Speedy Munro, Brad Redding. Hopefully, both of them I'll get on here at some point.
yeah,
Um, those sort of guys that had that extra bit of experience, but also the want to keep getting better, even at that age, through their mid 30s to 40. Our trainings, we were sort of, during that period, we were sort of almost mocked as a club or as a team by some of the other guys on other teams that we took it way too seriously. Um, do you have any thoughts around that? Do you think that's fair,
uh,
or do you think, you're playing cricket, you're playing a competitive sport, you might as well be the best you can?
winning is always better than losing in that.
Correct.
So fun, and as serious as we took it, we still had plenty of fun out in the field and off the field, and um, we've got the premierships next to our name,
That's
and
right.
we can always look back and remember, and often remember the years you don't win a premiership. It's the ones you do remember that you have the good memories from, and whether it's on field, off field, and um, yeah, people say we took it seriously, but I think it's probably more of a cop out for them on that they were getting beaten by a better side, and like our side was very, very handy.
Yeah.
Uh, Took some beating to beat us, so um, yeah, I don't think we took it. I don't think we was like super, super serious, but it was
No,
serious to make
yeah.
sure we got the results we wanted to get and
It's
get where
just
we wanted to get at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just funny to see how we were actually viewed from the outside, I guess, because inside that we never felt like we were super serious at all.
Yeah, correct. And that's sign of good culture, I think.
Yeah,
They have that balance that no one feels like you're on a tightrope the whole time, or you have to do this and there, and everything on exactly how it needs to be. You don't feel like that, but you're still taking it serious, and everyone's still having it fun,
mm.
and you're enjoying it. It's a sign of a good culture.
Yeah. And so you're obviously still involved, still playing.
Yeah.
Does that sort of still carry on now these days?
It's probably veered away a little bit. Our numbers are struggling a fair bit at the moment, which makes it hard to build up that culture. And like it's still enjoyable, but back in those days, you'd have 13 blokes for the season. You'd barely wander outside of that 13
Yep.
for the whole year.
Yep.
Um, at the moment, I can change up to 6 blokes a week.
Wow.
So it makes it hard to build that camaraderie through the team. Yeah, now we've got different nationalities and languages in our side as well. There's a bit of a language barrier and a culture barrier on some things. So there's a lot of other factors. It's still quite enjoyable,
Yep.
but there's different factors to it now, and probably just the continuity of having the same players each week is probably the biggest issue at the moment. So hopefully going forward to next year, we can try and um, get a solid 8 or 9 that are going to be there every week. Makes my life easier chasing players,
Yeah.
and yeah, start building that up again.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So you mentioned that it's sometimes a struggle with numbers. Now, the since I've been playing down there and moved away, the league itself is amalgamated, or basically dissolved as its own standalone league, which it was, and is now Lucendale Naracoorte into the Millicent and Area League, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's right. So we got to the point where we're down to 4 teams. COVID took it absolutely, so we're back down to 4 teams, and
Oh, because of
Kyrie.
the border, yeah, restrictions with crossing the border,
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
so we're back down to 5. Kyrie were then struggling for numbers, and just all it happened real last minute,
Yep.
month before the season. Lucendale said they were heading. We were a bit skeptical. It was like, oh, it's pretty late to go. Like, should we just, stay this season here and work out how to join into theirs the following season? In hindsight, though, I think the best decision was made to just bite the bullet and go. They were quite good about the whole situation and going and play different cricketers in different areas.
Yep.
And it's a reasonably like the good teams in this league when they're up and about are pretty handy. So
Yeah.
we've we've managed finals most years, I reckon, and we had a home ground final a few years ago, but didn't we haven't actually been able to win one yet. So um, yeah, it's a good comp.
Yeah, it is. There's some good cricketers in there. Um, but obviously, with the numbers already being hard to get, being the reason that you had to change leagues as a
Yeah,
team, as a club, um, did it make it even harder with the extra travel,
yeah, yeah.
going further than we ever have before? Yeah,
Yeah, and that was probably when we were talking about it, was my biggest concern. Um, it's not just finding fill-ins. Even some people that usually play every week, they're happy to play every week because max you got to go is to Lucendale, which is what
yeah,
25 minutes
yeah,
away. All of a sudden you're going to Millicent or Rendlesham, it's an hour and 15, an hour and 20 away. And people say, oh, I just don't want to commit to that for the season. Trying to find fill-ins for away games is it's hard work. Home games don't have to work as hard to find a fill-in.
yeah,
Um, I've never had too much struggle finding a team on a home game. It's the away games that are killers. So,
yep,
um, it does hurt, but we also couldn't sustain a league here, so there
yeah,
wasn't much choice, and we just got to deal with it. And like I said, if you just find that core players and the less fill-ins you got to try and get, will make it easier. So hopefully going forward, we've rounded up a few players, and hopefully got a few back. And
yep,
I think last year we probably had 3 that played every week, and then it
yeah.
was
Wow.
struggle from there.
Mm,
So I think going into this season will be a bit better. We should hopefully have around that 7 or 8 mark that are going to be there every week, and
that's
then
good.
you usually have your half a dozen that you sort of hit and miss. So hopefully, fingers crossed. It's a
Yeah.
bit, yeah,
So a while ago, I had a chat with Lee Kerno about the same thing. We've obviously spoken about how difficult it is at this point with numbers and people not playing cricket anymore. How do you think it got to that? Never mind COVID, it had been on a downward slide for a while.
definitely.
You think about what that league used to be like. There used to be 8 A grade teams, about the same in B grade and the same in junior cricket. None of that's there anymore. Can you put any reasons as to why it sort of died that slow death in Naracoorte, or not so
Uh,
much in Naracoorte because it happens everywhere?
Everywhere, yeah.
Mm,
So we're not alone, that's for sure.
mm,
I think the society's changed a fair bit on what people view on what they want to do on weekends. Back in the day, it was footy during the winter, cricket during the summer. cricket was your pre-season,
Yep.
um, and now people are starting training footy in November for God knows reason why. It's country football.
Yeah.
So they're starting pre-season at the same time. Cricket is pretty well starting.
Mm.
2 nights a week already with that. They've given up their weekends in winter. In saying that, footy numbers are declining too.
That's right.
Um, but there's just overlap of sports. I think basketball's one sport that's probably actually growing.
Yep.
I think in popularity.
Yep.
Saying that, even I started playing basketball.
Right.
Um, and then you get your kids nowadays, video games, phones, like technology. They're on their
Yeah.
technology a lot more, and rather than out in the backyard hitting backyard cricket or kicking the soccer ball or kicking a footy or um, all that. Like even, I was probably nearly the last generation to come through where uh, that's all you could do as a kid. There wasn't
Yeah.
like you could watch daytime TV, but who wants to watch daytime TV? It's boring. So you're out. We had a little man-made cricket pitch. You go down there, and I'd just bowl 100 cricket balls, or you had some footy goalposts. You could kick goals for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Whereas now they'll just sit on the phone, doom scroll pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that plays a major factor in it, and unfortunately, I don't know how you fix it because you can't just. There's no way you can just eliminate technology now. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's right. It's here and it's here to stay.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna take something very different, very outside the box, I think, to fix it, if it's fixable at all.
yeah, correct. So, I think it's just the way it is. I think numbers are going to be low. I think cricket's probably been one that's been hit the hardest.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know all sports, but I reckon cricket would nearly be hit the hardest. The fact that they haven't even got a schoolboys comp,
Yeah. Okay.
six teams in a schoolboys comp,
Mm.
kids up to year 7, and now you can't even get a school, um, or fill one under 12 side in the whole town.
Yeah. Yeah. That's scary,
Um,
isn't it?
yeah, it makes it hard.
Mm. Yeah. That's not a good outlook for the game. Um, it might sound a bit self-serving to say this, but I'm hoping that with me doing what I'm doing here and talking to local people and talking about their old days in sport, and there's obviously still kids that love sport and still kids that want to go and do their thing with their chosen sport. So I'm hoping that by you and other people coming on and doing this with me, that we can actually generate a bit more interest locally and amateur leagues about playing sport, because what I've found so far is that everybody would not actually want to think of their life if they didn't have sport in it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I genuinely wouldn't know what to do without sport, even if it's like this season. I haven't had much to do with footy, but in saying that, I never used to watch much AFL on TV when I was coaching. I think it's because you put all your energy into coaching, and that's the
Yeah,
game you focused on every weekend. You didn't want to come home and sit in front of the TV and watch footy unless it's the team you support.
yeah,
Because now I'll sit and watch Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon footy, no worries. Um, so yeah, generating that interest is hard. The more we can do, and the more we can get, out and about and talk about it, and hopefully we can get a bit of a change. Things always come in um, generations, you'd say.
yeah,
Every generation seems to have their own thing at the moment. There's a generation coming through now that isn't, they say, is not really into, the nightclubs and the pubs and all that.
yeah,
They're into the 6 a.m. run clubs and Pilates and all that sort of gizmos.
yeah,
Um, so it all comes in roundabouts, and hopefully soon get that roundabout and a big wave of kids coming through wanting to play sport and Um, Fingers crossed, the one thing that might help with technology is they get obviously access to a lot of these athletes online now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're big role models, and if they can portray, themselves in the right way on social media and that, it might inspire some of those kids to pick up a bat and bowl, or pick up a footy or soccer ball or basketball or whatever, and go out there and actually play the sport rather than just watching it online or
Yeah.
playing video games of it on the PlayStation, not actually going out there and physically doing it instead of playing it with your thumbs. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
well said. I agree, and I hope you're right. I hope it does all swing back around at some point, and hopefully, with us doing this sort of stuff, and I'm not the only one obviously doing it, but hopefully, with us doing this sort of stuff, we can get people to see that the people they know are actually live their life through sport and have all these great friendships and memories and stuff because of it. So hopefully, that in itself will just inspire some people.
yeah. That's hopefully it works out like that. That's
We
the
can only
plan.
we can only try.
You can get, yeah, that's it. You got to try, don't you? Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Yeah. All right. So off of that, what's your have you got one sort of memory and it can be after game, in game, or pre-game, whatever. One sort of great memory that you wouldn't trade for anything that you still talk about. Um, Not that we do premiership reunions or anything like that, but
No, we
we
should.
probably should.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
what any couple of memories that just sort of stand out that you just love to talk about?
oh, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Cricket's a hard one because as much as it's a team sport, it's also very much an individual sport too.
Yeah.
Obviously those premierships, you always talk about them, and there's little moments in them. Yeah, I think I made 50 or 60 in one of them. So it's always a good memory.
Yep.
I think I took a four for in another one, so they're always good memories to have. Um, it's probably footy wise, probably more where they stick in my brain because I was having as much success in footy. They stand out a little bit more. Um, Obviously coaching that one's probably one of my better memories. Getting that one just because it's been so long, and it took so many years to actually get it, and obviously losing a couple beforehand,
Yep.
and the first one we lost, unfortunately, the ball decided to bounce in a very awkward way. Otherwise, we would have won that one.
Wow.
Um, and the second one we lost, we were red hot favourites and didn't show up. So getting that one sticks out in my memory a fair bit. Um, and then cricket was trying to think of one cricket. There's plenty in cricket. Individually, obviously, probably one of my fondest memories individually was getting my first 100, which was always nice.
What did you make and who against and when was that?
112 not against Apsley out at Apsley the day after a Christmas party. So that was always,
Oh, makes it even better.
yeah. So that was, that sticks out in my brain a fair bit. That one, um, believe it or not, the couple of 90s stick out in my brain just as much as any of the other hundreds now too. Because
Right.
I mean, looking back on it, I was like, what the hell was I doing? Because I just threw one away,
Right.
threw two away actually. So they stick out. Um, and then just all the premierships. I'm trying to think if there was actually one that was super close, but don't think there were any that were real close.
There
I think
wasn't.
no.
I think we won as well as we should have in most of those.
Hmm.
The one that I find, and I'm not trying to lead you into anything here, but the one that I find the most satisfying out of those sort of 5 out of 7 or 8 years or whatever it was that we won was the last one that I was there for,
Yeah.
and that was, I mean, we only scraped into finals that year.
Oh yeah. Nah, yes, that
We sort
was
of we sort of won the last 4 or 5 games to scrape into finals.
No, yeah, I knew there was one that I was trying to get to, and that's the one we probably shouldn't have even made finals. There was
Yeah,
a rained out game somewhere where we split the points
that's right.
that got us into fourth, and then I think what was it we played Pathway, who are undefeated,
Yeah,
I reckon,
yeah.
first and out there, and I reckon from memory, me and Foss put on quite a nice partnership in that game.
Started quite slowly, and you guys got us a target.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think we put on 80, 90, 100 runs or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, knocked over them, and then pretty sure it was Lucendale we beat in
Yep.
the final, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, that was probably the one where we come from nowhere really.
And the team had changed quite a lot.
Team had changed a lot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the rest of them were sort of had barely lost a game, but yeah, that
Yeah.
one we probably shouldn't have even made finals. And scrape in, and we sort of always knew we had the team if we got there and put it all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got there and put it all together. I think um, those years of winning finals always helps when you get to finals. That
Correct.
experience, you can't buy that experience. You can't teach that experience.
Yeah, and that was sort of, from my memory, that was sort of the year when things were really starting to dwindle a bit as far as well,
Yes,
not dwindle, but really change. Like we had
Sam,
three
yeah,
Pakistani players playing for us. We had
correct.
Lockie Pulford as a junior opening the batting most of the year.
Yeah,
So the team had changed quite a lot, and the club was changing, and the whole scenery was changing
yeah,
already. But yeah, that was a really special one, I thought.
yes, yeah. No, that's probably is the standout one. I think. Um, yeah, that was. I think most people had written us off. That's how
Mm,
far back. I think we had to win.
mm,
Yeah, every game pretty well after Christmas. I think we
yeah,
did, and then the rain out. I think was either I reckon it was against might have been against Lucendale or Padway, one of the two, to split the points, and it was enough to get us in. I think so. Yeah, that was very just from where we come from to get that one was pretty special.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and like I said, I think that finals experience counts for a lot. The more you're there, the more you
Mm.
know what to do. Um, yeah, it's always a different game.
Yeah. All right. So we'll fire off a couple of quick ones here. Um, I always like to ask this one, and it stumps, but people generally sort of can't really choose one. Your favorite all-time sporting person?
Mine, I'll go two, one of each sport I follow. So for footy, it's Scott Pendlebury. I think what he's done is incredible.
Yep.
I like the way he plays, the way he carries himself, the way he leads, all that. He's complete package in
And
my
just
eyes, and should go down as one of the top few players to ever play the game. He
yeah,
might not have the individual accolades some others have, but um, for what he's done for that long, is pretty good. So, and
yeah. Just
then
just just to clarify before you jump into the next one, you're not a Collingwood supporter, are you?
no, I'm a Crow
Yeah,
supporter.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
probably the only Collingwood player I like, but that's and then cricket. He was pretty controversial, but I always liked Michael Clark.
Right.
Uh, I know he's a lot of people. What he did off the field sometimes wasn't quite the way you should carry yourself, but tactically, I think he's still one of the best captains we've ever had.
Hmm.
Um, and when it comes to standing up in tough moments against tough opponents, he's just as good as anyone. When he broke his shoulder, cracked his shoulder blade over in South Africa, and still went and piled on 140 or something like that.
Yeah,
After just copping bouncer after bouncer after bouncer, things like that, he could. I thought he was a pretty special player. Someone I liked watching a lot. So he was probably one of the cricketers I loved watching. So
yeah, yeah. Great. Fair enough. Great player. Um, okay. So from your favorite person to your favorite moment, anywhere, any sport, anything.
um, What big cricket one at the Adelaide Oval when Mitchell Johnson took out, was it Stuart Hall or James Anderson? I reckon it was James Anderson's.
The
Uh,
13-14 Ashes series.
yeah, he held him up for ages and ages, and then sent him back to the top of his mark. And then he'd come in and ripped his stump out, ripped the peg out of the ground. And I've been to footy games and cricket games at Adelaide Oval. I don't think I've heard anything louder and hearing everyone go up when they seen the bales fly off. That was a pretty special one to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be right up there, I reckon.
Yeah, not a bad moment. Is that I'm trying to rack my brain as to which moment that is that you're talking about. I think it might be Jimmy Anderson, and then
Orange Jimmy.
he gave him a bit of a stare as he walked off, and just sort of stood in front of him for a bit.
Yeah. I think he got brought just before that, and
Yeah,
went up pretty big for that. And then Anderson, yeah, I think he was expecting the bouncer, but he, knocked his pegs over. So it was a very loud, and everyone was very into it. It was quite good to be part of that one.
yeah. I can imagine the atmosphere there. Sounds pretty electric. All right. So my final question that I always like to ask to finish things off: if there's anybody that you know of anywhere, it doesn't have to be in your local area, just anywhere that you'd like to hear tell their story, who would it be? Who's your local legend?
Um, yeah, that's a good question.
Doesn't have to be a player, it can be a volunteer, yeah,
Yeah, just trying to. There's plenty of them. There's no doubt about that. Um, who would we go? Probably, yeah. We'll head back down the cricket path and to some of the guys that were there when I first come through. Um, mightn't be so much their stories on the field, but off the field. And it wasn't just what they did after dark, but also big parts of the club too. Your Mouse Reddings and your Trev Sayers and that has some. They were big parts of the club and the league when I first
yeah,
come through, and I think that was a big reason of why that club what it was when I first come in. So those couple of guys are two guys that stick out in mind. I think, yeah, they'd have plenty of stories to tell, and
maybe the after dark ones we won't, but
yeah, maybe not those ones, but and they both, they opened the bowling together for years, didn't they?
yeah.
And
Mm.
they'd have some great stories to tell about their sporting careers.
And they were both a big part of the new club rooms being built when after
Yeah,
the arson attack that burnt the old one down.
yeah, they did a
They
lot
were
of.
a lot of work, as a lot of blokes were at that stage, yeah, in rebuilding the club because we obviously needed a home. We stayed, we rebuilt, and we grew, and that's largely to those two guys and a few others.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, they were, and all that was happening just as I was starting to play senior cricket. So
Yeah,
yeah, those two guys would be. I reckon that has some very good stories and insights to tell.
I agree. As you know, I know those guys well too. So hopefully we can get both or one of them at least on here and having a chat.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely listening to that one.
All right. Well, appreciate your time tonight, Matt. You've been someone I've identified when I first had this idea to do that I would love to get on here and have a chat because as I said at the start, we've played a lot of cricket together and enjoyed every minute of it, especially the winning part.
Yeah, no, definitely no. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great to have a bit of a chat. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank you.
you're welcome. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this episode, mate. Thanks for being here
No,
and
thank you.
enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, will do. You too.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat with Matt as much as I did. One thing that really stood out to me was the reminder that while sport is about competition, it's the people and the relationships that keep clubs alive. Wins and losses come and go, but the coaches who invest in people The volunteers who give up their time and the clubs that create a sense of belonging are the ones that thrive. Matt's passion for local cricket and cricket in general was obvious, but so too was his passion for seeing community sport grow and continue to grow for the future generations. Hopefully, this conversation has encouraged all of us to think a little differently about the role we can play in keeping local sport strong. A huge thank you to Matt for taking the time to share his story and his thoughts. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody else who loves community sport. It all helps us continue telling the stories of the incredible people making a difference in our local communities. This has been Local Legends, thanks to the Inside Game. I'm Mark Collins, and I'll see you next time.